In here, a couple notes. I think everyone probably saw the Penn State start time was announced, 3 p.m. In a couple of weeks. And then next week, obviously, the night game at Maryland. Let me know by 9 in the morning on your player requests. Get everything going early, moving up this week, a short week. Here's Coach.
Thanks, Steve. So, I think you've heard me say before, winning is never easy, and it certainly was the case today. So, first and foremost, just happy to get the victory and happy to finish this month 4-0 right now. So, proud of our guys. They've done a good job that way. And as I said on Tuesday, our goal each and every week is to win the game first and foremost, and then hopefully improve. And there's some up and down moments with that, certainly, but I think, especially in the third quarter, I think we saw some growth and some good things, and we certainly got stressed, which is going to help us, and certainly credit Colorado State for their way they played. They came in here to win the football game, and I thought their guys really played hard and did a lot of good things, and as I said on Tuesday as well, that tight end's a guy who's a really impressive player. And, you see guys on film and you're impressed with them, then sometimes you get on the field and it's either, maybe not as impressed or more impressed. And certainly in his case, I'd say even more impressed. He's a real deal, just a tremendous football player. So got a lot of respect for him and, again, their whole football team and their approach. Give our defense a lot of credit today, what they did in that, especially in the second half, kind of buckling down. Jack Campbell did a great job. It was all over the place. But a lot of good efforts out there. Some good team football in that third quarter, but then just a lot of missed opportunities too, whether it was some things in special teams that didn't look so good. The turnover is a huge factor both ways, a chance to go in and score and then, set them up with a really short field. Third down was not real stellar for us, that's for sure. And then, even we score a touchdown and then we get a penalty. So next thing you know, they got the ball at midfield after we score. That was kind of emblematic or symbolic of the whole thing. And then, the other one, we dropped that, tried to run around play down there in our end and put the thing on the ground and ended up, whatever it was, like 2nd and 30 or something like that. So, just a lot of things that we're going to have to get cleaned up here. And, the interesting part, I thought we really had a good week of preparation. Thought our guys were ready to go and just didn't show up on the field. So, got a short week ahead of us right now. That gives us one more challenge. But, again, happy to be 4-0. And for us, it's as simple as, right now we started out, it's a 7-game schedule. Now it's down to 3. And so that's kind of how we're looking at it. And then we'll assess things after that. And, starting tomorrow, the only thing that's going to matter is the next 6 days because it's things are going to happen fast for us. So I'll throw it out for questions, but just want to, Leah, wish you the best. I understand you're leaving here. So cat's out of the bag. Yeah. I guess you knew that. So, and thanks for exposing me as a terrible women's basketball coach. So, so appreciate that. So, I got to get Sarah Bart's phone number from you too, by the way.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, thank you.
Coach, how much has Keegan shown that big playability that we saw today, and especially when it's tough for a true freshman to see the field?
Yep.
Really at any time.
Yeah, and we talked about that the other day. We got 5-6 guys in the mix there at that position. So I've been pretty consistent, just saying he's really impressed us since he got here, and Arlen Bruce the same thing. So really nice play today, and it was a beautiful throw, beautiful pattern, and big play for us. That's something hopefully we can continue to build on. I'll compliment Arlen too, because that looked like a dead play when he came around in that jet sweep, and then he made something out of nothing there. So those are two young guys that we really have high hopes for, and it's going to help their confidence having that opportunity today.
You talk about the adversity your team faced and how you were able to overcome that today.
Yeah, at halftime we're behind and not playing great, quite frankly, and a lot of our own doing. Some of the things, especially at field position, we put the defense out there twice on short fields, so it is what it is, and you got to live with it. And I just tell the guys that's why we play 60 minutes. We always talk about that. Everybody does. But let's play the full 60, and let's try to clean up the things that we weren't doing well, and see if we can come up with something maybe a little bit better. And our guys rallied and they just kept playing. So it's credit to them. And like I said, especially in that third quarter, we started getting a little momentum, a little energy, and good things were happening all 3 phases, which we're better when we're doing that.
What do you kind of Colby got to start at guard? Your thoughts on how he performed, how Justin Britt is, if he's going to be back shortly?
Yeah. We thought Justin would be able to go today. He had a little bit of an injury on Wednesday, I guess it would have been, so we thought he'd be able to go, and just couldn't. So, threw Connor in there. They were going to rotate him anyway, if not start Connor, but because, Justin missed a little bit of time. But I don't think it's anything too serious. At least, I'm not a doctor, but I don't think it is. And hopefully with a little bit of time, he'll be ready to go. And for Connor, it's kind of like Keegan. This is good experience every snap he gets right now. He's done a lot of good things since we got started, even in the spring. But, every snap's really going to be important for him.
Coach, with the short week coming up this week and a lot of travel, does that affect how you prepare for the game today? Because you've got a lot of travel. Does that affect the previous week?
Well, one thing we've talked to our guys about, not this Saturday, but the last 2 Saturdays have been pretty warm. Last week ended up being warmer than we would have thought or was expected, and then the week before it was obviously very hot. So we just tried to talk to them about being smart and realizing that this takes a toll on you. And now we're facing a short week. Today wasn't too bad as far as heat. But we practiced normal last week. Maybe just gave them a little break only because we'd played 2 hot games. But and one thing at least we've had a lot of practice now in these short weeks, and I think we had one last year, plus one that had election day in there, so it was like a shorter week or so we've had a lot of experience with that, and I think we have a good plan, but we got to go out and execute that, and then get better in practice too. That's the biggest thing right now.
Do you ever lay into your team at halftime? Have you ever been like that kind of guy? What did you do today?
Yeah. I mean, I can think of a game right. It's been 20 years, right? 21 years. I think Jay Hilgenberg commented on it. He was an RA captain, but it was more about we were kind of sleepwalking, but I think we were not quite sure we could do things, at that point. So, but I mean, as a rule, that's not usually the approach, unless we're just playing. I think our guys were trying today, and they had practiced well, but it just wasn't clicking for us.
What did you say? What was your message, I guess,
today?
At the break?
Just that, we're in a game, and I think they all were aware of that, fully aware of that, since we're losing. But we're in a 60-minute game too, and it's in our hands. So there's no magic here. We just got to go out and play better, and we got to quit helping the opponent, which is a huge part of winning. And then we got to do something for ourselves too. But there's, the coaches do a great job. They're the ones who do most of the talking at halftime. They give the guys the adjustments, the plan, and then I just give them a 30-second yabba-dabba-do, and then we're out of there. So that's kind of it.
One mediocre half has gotten a lot of teams beaten in this game. What's the difference with you guys?
And we've witnessed it here, right, in Kinnick and a couple other places, the last 20-plus years. So, and I started the talk a week ago Monday, before Kent State. Just kind of cited some all-time, disappointing games. So, it's about the team. I mean, we have we got a lot of young guys on our team, but we have a lot of veteran guys, and I've been saying that pretty consistently. That I think really. They believe, and they're trying to do their best. And mentioned the Jack Campbell, Benson, and now Justin's catching up. He got to play a lot today, and he's catching up. So we got a lot of guys that have played and have some experience, have that confidence, and those are the guys who are going to lead us. Charlie Jones, today was huge. I even complimented him publicly to our team a week ago, Wednesday, and I know Ken was worried about that, thought he might tank it. But, every time he was out there on those punt returns trying to score, using good judgment and then trying to score. So the guys that have played and have had some success, I think, are helping lead everybody else.
A lot more throws downfield. What really was behind that?
Part of it's the coverage you're seeing and the way they were playing us. We just felt like that might be, things were pretty crowded there in the middle, and we thought maybe we could isolate some guys outside. And, it's good to have some success there, certainly.
Jack Campbell had 18 tackles today, and he kind of told us this before you came in that he felt like he was doubted before when he was first being recruited. If you could think back to, what did you see within him in the recruiting process, and why he's been able to excel at this level?
Yeah, I mean, Reese was still coaching when we were recruiting Jack, and I'll say this. I mean, I remember his senior. It was one of the best basketball practices I've ever seen. I've seen some really good ones and really bad ones. Chad Greenway, that's one of my all-time favorites, because they had Chad, who was out there, shooting 3 points, and then he'd look over 3-pointers, looking over to see if Reese and I were watching. Why do you think we're here? Of course we're watching. But it was cool because in his school, it was like a little house on the prairie. I think 28 kids in a senior class. So they had a couple seniors, and they had kids that were like in 8th grade or 7th grade. But it was a really good practice. It was fun to watch. And Jack's I was up there his senior year in December, I think it was, and boy, it was a really good practice. I think they ended up being state champs that year. But he, we were on him pretty early, and you just saw that improvement athletically. Like, he was just a hack in basketball. He got fouls really fast. He could pick them up. But he's always been a football player that just had a great motor, just a high motor, and he's so humble. I mean, he's just a beautiful, beautiful guy that way. So I don't think any of us are surprised the way he's playing. It's just how he is. He's got one speed, and he's not Chad Greenway, but there are kind of some parallels between them. And both he and Seth do a good job. And I thought, again, Justin played a lot today, and I think we're seeing him elevate too with experience out there.
Spencer hit on several long passes today. How have you seen that area of his game progress over time, and how did it ultimately play out today?
That'll help us if we can, mix things in there a little bit and hit some deep balls. It always makes things better. And but the coverage has to help you a little bit. And our guys, both, had a couple there, and then they had a breakdown on the one touchdown to Sam. But yeah, he did some good things there. And we're not playing with the kind of rhythm we want offensively yet, and that's we probably need a little better plan, and we need to execute a little bit better.
This is I think third time maybe you've won 10 games in a row over the course of 2 seasons. What goes into that? How do you do that?
First thing comes to mind is turnovers, and we had one today. But that's a big part of it, and that really hurt us in those 2 previous games. A couple fumbles at Purdue, and then three picks, I think it was, at Northwestern or with Northwestern. So those things, it starts there, playing clean. You got to play hard, and then sometimes you got to play through things too. And today's an example of that. But and it takes good players. I mean, that's the other. You better have some good players, and we're fortunate there.
Your running game, 54 yards today. I don't know, it was probably 80 or so without the sacks. What's not clicking, and what do you need to grow on really quickly to be the running game you want to be?
Yeah, that's a film that, film will answer it a little bit better. And last week, I think I said Tuesday, I didn't feel so good standing here a week ago, but I felt better after seeing the film. So, you got to look at it and see where things are not quite. And they made it tough on us. They blitzed us a lot in the run game and made it tough that way. We're still, we still got some moving pieces up there and moving parts and experience, that type of thing. But we're 4 games into it now, so we better think, just what I said a minute ago, we're going to have to probably come up with a little better plan, and we're going to have to execute a little bit better. I think we're capable, and, we're not going to get too discouraged yet.
About that third quarter, obviously that 2-play sequence where Campbell recovers the fumble, and then obviously Tyrone Tracy takes it in. How big was that for this team, and did you feel maybe a little weight off your shoulders when that 2-play sequence came about?
Yeah, you always worry about people pressing too much when you're playing from behind. You worry about that. And again, the idea was, hey, we still got 30 minutes, but we have 30 minutes too, so let's get moving here. So yeah, when you get a spark play like that, you want to capitalize, and if you can do it sooner than later, that's even better. But yeah, to come away with the touchdown was really big. It was a great call, really executed well, and they guys did a good job there. So that's part of football. It's just cashing in on opportunities. That's why the team football aspect, if the defense sets us up in a good situation, sure rather come out with a touchdown than a field goal, and then just try to keep building off that.
How big a challenge do you think you're immediately facing with this Maryland game?
It's like every week. It's going to be a tough game, and they're undefeated. They got a good football team, and so. I don't know a lot about them. I've seen a little bit of them, and I've seen them over the last couple of years. Certainly, another quarterback was inexperienced last year, and now he's experienced, and they must be doing a lot of things right because they're 3-0. So, it's still more about what we do and how we can handle the next 6 days. But we expect this to be another tough game, and we didn't do so well last time we were out there. It's been quite a while, but didn't do so well.
1 or 2 more.
When you look at the touchdown pass to Sam, seemed like there was another almost tunnel screen fake, and that's what allowed the safety to converge, and then of course he slipped past him. Was that something you guys had spotted early in the week? Was that something that at that point, obviously?
We've had it in our playbook for a while, and we just thought, based on some things we had seen, it might have a chance, and you just never know. Ironically, it didn't play out quite the way the ball didn't go quite where we thought it would go, but that's why you play. You just never know how it's going to shape up, and. Fortunately, Sam knew what to do with it when it came his way, until he scored. Apparently, you can't spin the ball. I learned that today. I knew taunting was a big thing, but you can't spin it either.
So you didn't know that was a penalty there?
It didn't seem like an excessive celebration to me, but I just, seemed like taunting was a bigger thing I heard, but taunting and spinning, I'll add that to the list.
Are those rules sometimes so ambiguous? I mean,
They
a
are.
couple of years ago, you had a guy skip twice and then get a touchdown call back. Last year, you had a guy do a backflip and he didn't get penalized. Now you have a guy who spins a football.
I appreciate you bringing all these up. Your memory's better than mine, but, we lost that player in the backflip, right? But, that's a whole different discussion. But it's kind of like, what I said last week. I think one of the things, and I told the guys on the field this today, they make these rules so hard to officiate that it puts a lot of pressure on the guys working the game. So, another one is, the big point of Memphis this year is the uniform, where the pants are. So, you're trying to, is that pass interference, not pass interference? Is that a completion, not a completion? Oh, let me look at your legs too to see, it's an awful lot. And, I empathize for the guys working the game because they're just trying to call the game. But that's a tough one, yeah. But we learned a lesson today.
All right, guys,
The
thanks,
ball's
everyone.
on the 50, the next thing we knew, so, okay, thank you.